Hey, welcome to the Jeff Show, Talking with Demons. My name is Jeff. I'm your host, and I am here today with Sharon, who's
Hello.
and Jason. I hope I say it right. Stauffer.
Stauffer, yeah.
I think
Everybody
I
tells
said
me
it
it's
wrong
pronounced
earlier.
Stauffer, but
Stauffer.
yeah.
It's Stauffer.
My parents said Stauffer, so that's what I use.
Okay, it's Stauffer or Stauffer.
Yeah,
That's
it's
gonna
one
be
of
a
them.
great interview today. I do want to say that we are going through some changes on the Jeff Show. Dakota has uh, has moved on, but he has great opportunities that he is working on. So please support him. Sharon will be taking over co-host when she can, hopefully all the time because I love having her on the show. We we have a Facebook page. Please go there. We do. It's a group actually. We do a lot of postings there. We're going to do a weekly announcement on what we're doing for the weekend. So we have that on YouTube. This episode actually is the inaugural YouTube episode. It'll still be on Spotify with kind of some extras as far as intro and outro. Sharon, anything you'd like to add? Or
No, I think you've got it all covered.
yeah, I think we have it all
Yeah,
covered.
yeah.
Let's now put the attention towards our guest. Now, I've known you for about a year, I think, Jason, right?
Yeah,
On
something like that.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And we met how every other true crimer does. I don't know if we sent I think I stalk people and I comment how much I like your artwork.
Yeah. I
And
used to
then
stalk people a lot more often, but
yeah.
for
Yeah.
art.
And that's how we make
I'm a
friends.
total
And
stalker. That's the only way I meet
We're all
people.
stalkers.
stalk. But I'm a good stalker. I come with tea and
Yeah.
cookies and hot chocolate or coffee. I come with
Yeah.
goodies, knocking on the door like a new neighbor. And we did an art collaboration, right? We you introduced
Yes.
me, which is I feel so embarrassed about it. I didn't know the Killdozer from was it?
Isn't that a cool story, man?
It's a
That's
great
wild.
story. He's like a folk hero. That town still praises
Yeah,
him.
he is.
They have a
They have a
book
movie
there.
coming out, and somebody
Yeah,
is just finishing up a life size scale. People in that town got to be like, you're making a life size scale of the thing that demolished everything. You know, you got to like, some people got to wonder. I wonder if he's gonna try it out. You know,
maybe there was a dude on YouTube
the
that
cops like,
purchased one in Montana. He drove it through. I think he was going back to Florida, and he stopped there and he had to talk with the police. Like, so what's your plans with this big bulldozer you wanted to?
yeah,
Because I'm just bringing it through and just paying respects. I think it was a celebrated holiday on at least social media on the
yeah.
day it happened. It's tragic story, really.
It's fortunate enough that he was so slow. Like they evacuated everything because he could have
Yeah.
done so much. Like if people weren't aware and were just chilling in a building, he could have like killed so many people.
I don't know why he
I don't.
had
I don't
to.
think. I don't think it was his goal though. He was just like pissed off at
No,
like
I don't think he was
the
trying to.
fucking powers that be, and
Right.
yeah,
You don't want to take people out. I don't know why he had to end his life. I mean, he would have had some jail time for sure and
yeah.
some
I always figured if
fines.
I did something really bad, I was just gonna stay in jail and write out the story and write people, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
You could,
lie, make embellish stories, and like a
well,
lot of
you could
killers
get,
do.
you'd probably get 20 years and maybe serve 6 to 10
He
on good
wouldn't. He
behavior.
wouldn't have even had that. Yeah, and then he'd get movie deals and whatever.
I know.
Yeah,
So we encourage you, please don't take out of town with a killdozer and don't take yourself
if
out with
you
it.
if you do, you don't have to take yourself out.
No, you do not, man. There's other ways. Anyways, yeah, so that's how we met. You have just talking with you the last couple of days preparing for the interview. I know you a lot more. It was great just
Yeah,
getting to know you. And you mentioned your with your childhood, you've where you perhaps where you grew up, you were around, you have some knowledge of extreme religious practices, maybe even
I
kind of
do.
cult like, if I'm
Yes,
not labeling it
yes,
too much.
sure. No, like, yeah, yeah. That like I was brought up in a very strict Christian household, and man, in hindsight, like you don't know as a kid that it's not normal, but like you weren't allowed to talk to kids that like were outside of the church or outside of the religion. You know, we got moved. We were like the first people on a street just to leave the town because the neighbor kids were talking about stuff that didn't back up the Bible and
That's
the Bible in
crazy.
the way they interpret it. Yeah. So
That was
yeah, super sheltered. So like Yeah, and like then I went to a school right around here is like the Bible Belt, a lot of Amish and Mennonite. Like I went to a school where forget sex ed, like you just don't have sex your whole life, right? That's what you tell kids. But
Yeah.
like
It's folk.
evolution stuff like that that's taught basic. You know, I was taught like as a teenager, they're telling me like God made that man and woman out of a fucking rib and shit. And I'd never heard anything else. So like I'm walking around as a teenager, like believing all this stuff. Because even the schools I went to, like it was weird. It's
So you
very
couldn't go
odd.
to
And I didn't
Chili's
realize
and
till I was a
you couldn't have baby back ribs to bring two painful memories for you.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, so like, and I left when I was 18. Like I had enough. It was not for me. I didn't realize it, but like I believed the Bible um, till like my 30s. Like, and moreover, over the years, it didn't add up. But I was like, as we'll get into my story, I was so fucked up, and all I cared about was drugs from like 18 on. Like, I didn't even fucking think about that shit a whole lot. I just took what they taught me as a kid. Yeah,
So definitely formed
and
your upcoming
so like,
years.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, where are we lost?
No, so you're 18 and you're pretty much kind of
Yeah,
split
we want to
from
go to
that.
18. We can do that. Yeah. And then like a lot of drugs, and I was homeless from like 18 to 36, I believe.
It's a
Like
long
I'd
time,
stay
man.
at, yeah, most of it was like hardcore, like in the woods in a tent. You know what I mean? Months at a time, 6 months at a time. Um, and like I had a rough upbringing, and I went from that to never really growing up, if that makes sense in a lot of the ways. Like, you know what I mean? I was like an adult that believed in Santa Claus, like something like that, you know? Um,
With that,
and
well, I got questions for you about that period, if you don't
yeah,
mind. I mean, so
yeah,
from 18, you said to 36 or 32?
yeah.
How'd you deal with the winters? I'm sure you're in an area that's got a lot of
Okay,
snow.
so as it became later, well, layers, a lot of layers. So I did tents in the winter, and it'd be like that's all you're doing is staying warm. But I would
Yeah.
also work full time. So like I'd go to a job, and in the winter I'll pick up overtime. Fuck it, I'll stay in the heat. But yeah, so the winters was like the roughest. But then like a lot of times it became like crack houses where I just had a little bit of money. I'd throw money, live in their fucking basement. A lot of like homeless shelters. Like if I could go back and do all the homeless time, I would have stayed in the woods because the
Yeah.
ghetto is fucked, man. It sucked, especially for
So,
someone that just wants to do drugs all day. Like
well, and
it
once you're
was rough. And once you're like
interacting,
used to it, you just feel
yeah.
like there's no way out. I have 1 year, 5 years, after 10 fucking years of the same thing every day, no hope. Like,
Do you have
yeah,
any
I never
crazy
thought it was
stories?
gonna
Like,
change, man.
what's like the craziest story from that time period that you can remember that, like, I can't believe I'm seeing this?
Oh, it's the hooker jumped out of a second story window without opening the window and ran down the alleyway naked. That was a rough one.
Unscathed, except for the broken
The
glass.
cops would come back and nobody got arrested. The cops came to that house a lot. Like the cops would bring the newbie cops there just to fuck with them because they knew like a bunch of crackheads that didn't like the cops. They'd fucking like yeah, it's in my asshole. You want to fucking check? And like the rookies would be like, what the fuck? And like, go, welcome to Coatesville.
So the cops
Yeah, it was rough.
would they do any kind of shady things with people?
They're cops, yes. But
Yeah.
uh, um, usually, like no, like you think you could have crack and shit out half the time, and they wouldn't look. They would come in to serve a fucking warrant. So you know what I mean. Half the time, that house, like, because there was one house in particular that was like 6, 7 years that it was like the same guy owned it and rented it out to whoever had a little bit of cash and whoever wanted to do drugs.
Yeah.
The House of Pain, we called it.
The House of Pain,
Yeah,
not just a 80s hair band song.
yeah, yeah.
That's
And then
crazy.
like the more I went into like it was just the last bunch of years I was just shooting heroin and coke like every fucking day. Um, And then, like, you know, I got shot at a few times, or the person next to me did, knives pulled. The worst was like I got jumped by like 6 people. Well, they beat me, and I wanted to get my fucking money back, which was not smart. So I got the shit beat out of me by like 6 people, and they broke my cheekbone. That was kind of rough. I,
That's way
I don't
rough.
know.
Mm.
But you know, childhood was rough, so I didn't notice the big fucking. All the difference is I had drugs to numb some of the annoying parts of life. You know what I mean? It's not like I was one of them kids that loved fucking life and then was like, I'm gonna fuck it up with drugs. I just kind of went from like
Yeah,
kind of shitty life to kind of shitty life.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
But that's a long period to have to go through that as well.
yeah. I didn't. I honestly thought I was gonna die. I kind of wanted that. Like I shot a lot of heroin at once, lots of times. One time I went out in the middle of the ghetto for like I think 8 hours till I came back to. But yeah, so yeah, it sucked.
So
And
it's tough.
I didn't know life could be like it is now. Like
How'd
I
you get
saw
out
other
of it?
people do it, and I'm like, how the fuck are they doing it? Dude, all I can say is you gotta want to. You gotta like get sick of it. Like I finally got sick of it, and like I moved back out here. Like I was near Philly. I moved back out here, closer to where I grew up. So I got away from all the same people. I got away from the city where I was doing it, and I got a little bit of time. And I'm like, all right, life's a little bit fucking easier. It sucks. You know, I ended up staying in a fucking tent for a while for 6 or 7 months instead of going back to where I came from because I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be around all the fucking heroin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you go
And
camping
like the
now, or is
first,
that kind of like no thanks?
I love being outdoors. Oh, I love the outdoors. I love
Still,
it. I
that's
love it.
good.
Love it. Love
On
it. The
your own
kids love
terms.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
camping's great. So
Yeah. I
you
got tired of
decided
it.
you got
I
tired of
got
it.
tired of it. After years and years, you know, after going to jail for like 6 or 7 times, being dope sick all the time, like I'm just like I don't
Yeah.
care what happens. I'm cutting out this little part. And that's the first time I like had any self-control in my fucking life, like in my mid-30s. Quit fucking doing heroin. That's all I thought about for the first year every day. Then 2 years was a little rough. After 2 years, I don't fucking miss it. Like I wouldn't do it even if it didn't have side effects. Like I don't fucking miss it. It's weird that I spent so many years just like doing heroin every day.
Sharon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like you mentioned that when you did sort of stop, but you said that you walked away from everything. Was it hard staying away? Like you would have had friends. Um, was it hard walking away from them as well?
No,
No,
no. There's so many years. Like I did miss a few people, but not enough to like stay. It was so depressing after so many years. Like I've
yeah,
never gone back. It's only an hour away. Like I've
yeah,
never gone back for anything.
And
okay,
Gone to
yeah.
they
Philly to see like bands, but
and they
Because
might
I
have
think
been
that's a
yeah.
major point in when you're trying to give up. You need
you
to
know,
walk away. Whereas the
luckily
trap,
I never had a significant other. Because that would be really fucking hard to have a family and then battle this fucking like an addiction like that.
True.
Especially if like your partner's using or you know your kids are
Mhm.
using. I know people that they're you know what I mean? It makes it
Yeah,
rough. It was
yeah,
only me though. It was only me and the
yeah,
people that I randomly saw in and out of jail and shit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, no, I mean I've got some friends that are addicts
Yeah.
and they've lost their families. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
completely lost their families and yeah, it's not great.
It's hard for people to deal with. Like I would have been hard to deal with. Like can't believe a word they're fucking saying. And year after year, like I didn't think I was ever gonna fucking change. So
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you did it. And is this
I
also the same
did it,
Yeah.
period that
man.
when you also first went? I mean, how many times have you been to prison? When did that start?
I think once in like my early 20s, and that was like 2 weeks. But then like once I got into heroin, you know, maybe
Is that when you
like
started
by my
your artwork?
30s, it was a bunch. By 30s, in my
Yeah,
30s, I was going a bunch. I was on paper, like no felonies or anything, but like I didn't even check in with my probation officer half the time. Like when they let me out of jail, I just like fucking hit the street.
yeah.
which was an automatic warrant.
Mhm.
Like, I'll just shoot up till next time I get in there. Like,
You can't
yeah.
skip out
Jail
on
wasn't
probation,
jail,
man.
like, dude. Now I would be like, I would hate to leave my family. I haven't been away from my wife one day in like over 7 years. So like, jail would be rough now. But like I told you, like life was rough on the streets. So like, jail
Yeah.
wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, the
Do you
hardest
want
part is like,
to?
they took me away from my drugs. You had to look forever to find shit in there.
It's
I
a
did get the
very,
stories. I did get high in jail a few times.
Yeah.
very rough
Oh yeah.
rehab. Yeah. Well, you got the prison hooch you can make, and there's still
Yeah,
drugs that make it in there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
and you've showed me
Fuck
a lot.
drugs.
Fuck drugs. You showed me a lot of artwork coming from prison, or have you been to prison or just jail?
Jail. Yes,
Okay.
the most I ever did was 7 months.
Okay.
So,
And you,
and people that have been to lots of different jails said that I only went to the one jail that the county where I was, living. As far as jail goes, it's not supposed to be a very hard one.
right.
They would say it's like kindergarten or something. Still not fun
No, it's basic training camp for prison. Now,
for a
is
big boy
this
jail. Yeah,
for big boy jail? Is this where superhero Shinhead was invented?
yes,
Tell us
yes.
about
Okay,
Shinhead.
and like I always had a crazy sense of humor. Life sucked, right? And it felt good to laugh. So like I would always do whatever I could to get myself out of my head. I'm super autistic. So like shit would be bothering me, sensory issues, and if I could like laugh and just say crazy shit, like I'd get out of my head, that shit wouldn't bother me. So like I did a lot of wild shit for laughs. So some people find it entertaining, some people would get pissed off. But yes, shithead was I was bored in jail, and I was doing self portraits I was in the shitty mirror, and I'm like, well, let me make it interesting. I put a fucking pair of underwear on as a mask. I'm like, bing! I'm like, this is brilliant. Put on my sweatshirt as a fucking cape, butt naked, the rest of me, and I would like in my gait, and then I'd go out and run around. Sometimes you get in trouble if you run around the hall like fucking naked, but
Really?
yeah, I'm
But
like,
Turning
there's,
on,
I
that's
mean,
not
I
that's
was
not
like,
turning on
welcome.
the other
everything.
inmates.
Yeah, there's so much fucking criminals in here. Let me out. Then I'd be like, let me see your papers. Yeah, a lot of people thought it was funny,
That's hilarious. You did a
but
drawing of
like,
it.
yeah, I did a lot. Dude, I half that shit got confiscated by my drawing when I went to solitary confinement the last time. I was friends with a pastor, one of the head chaplains of that prison on the outside. I knew him from the homeless shelter next to the House of Pain. So he knew me very well before I started going to prison. And he'd always be like, Jason, make me laugh. He liked to fucking laugh. So like he thought it was crazy, but I made him laugh. And so I like even when I went to solitary confinement where you can't have visits, he's the head chaplain. He would come down and visit me, and I'd be drawing all this crazy shit, and he would just people would like, "What are you guys doing, praying and shit?" It was like just me showing him crazy, fucked up drawings and just laughing and shit. But then he would take that artwork back to the shelter, so I was able to recover a lot of my jail artwork
That's
when I got
cool.
out because a lot of the guards will just throw it the fuck out.
Did you ever
Yeah.
have any pen pals in there? Anybody write you? You mean family,
Family,
friends? Yeah.
people trying to suck me back into the way, the religion. Now that you've had some time to think.
God will save you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, your wife will save you, right? Your,
My
Yeah.
wife
your
has been awesome.
yeah,
My
your
wife has
children
been.
will save
I
you.
quit heroin. Yeah, I quit heroin. That's the only like discipline I ever had at that point in life, and at this point I learned a lot for me. But like it comes like it wasn't easy. Like 2 years, like a year and a half ago, I quit drinking alcohol, and
That's great.
that was so hard. Yeah,
Did
that
you
was
ever reach
hard.
back out to that past year? Keep up a friendship and
The pastor.
yeah, I think it'd be cool to see how he's doing if he's still around. Is he an old guy?
That'd be an interesting fucking conversation since I'm like not a Christian anymore. Like I would not be able to stomach staying at some of the places I did anymore,
Yeah, but
like as I am now.
he sounds pretty open. He's pretty open to and he
Dude,
likes your
he
humor.
was a really cool guy. He used to be a fucking meth dealer, and then before he
Ah,
became a pastor.
yes.
So yeah, he was a really cool guy. It's I don't know. I
Well,
thought about it.
let me know, man. I want to hear this story. I
Dude,
think this is great.
I wish he would do it. Like, I don't think he would do it, but he'd make a great fucking interview.
You
Like, he
should
used
do
to
it.
talk to. Remember the guy sent you the dog chainsaw killer, the House of Horror from Coatesville? He was like friends with that guy and would talk to that dude.
Jeez, man. Yeah,
That was weird, man. That guy was weird. Like, I knew him a bunch. Like,
we
he
love a
was
great story.
super fucking quiet too. You didn't think he was chainsawing dogs up and killing people and shit.
Yeah. So,
Ghetto.
we got superhero shithead. You're doing some
Yeah, yeah, that was
artwork
fun.
in prison. Is
Okay,
this where you started your artwork that you do?
no, no, I started that when I was like, I did a little bit as a kid, but very, very little. And then like, man, as a kid, I became obsessed with cannibals and serial killers. Once Dahmer came out, like when Dahmer came out, I was like, cool, and everybody's like, what do you mean cool? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just eat people. So yeah, so I was obsessed with cannibals, and I just got a big pad of paper and started drawing fucking cannibals with charcoal, and like they were like pretty damn good for just starting. So like I
What
just
age
started
is
rocking
this?
portraits.
How old were you,
Like
man?
fucking like 21. I was
Okay.
21. By the time I started really cranking out like charcoal portraits and shit of them.
The age makes sense to me. I was thinking like you're 10, like your dad's letting you watch like Cannibal Holocaust. I was watching The Exorcist, but
No,
I didn't get to cannibals till way
like
later.
no, yeah, no. I would have been like, 14, 15. At an early age, I was into like morbid, violent, gory shit. Like as
Yeah.
soon as I saw Texas Chainsaw and it said based on a true story, like I got a book and it was like Ed Gein. I was like, oh cool. That I found Albert Fish. I'm like, well, this is the creepiest fucking dude I ever heard of. So like I was obsessed with Albert Fish, had masks, did meet and greets as him,
I
and
was gonna say, let
the
me
band's named after Grace Bud.
yes.
Yeah.
I kept for some reason
Yes.
when I was looking for you, I kept putting in 12-year-old Stu. I was like, no wonder I can't find it. It's 10-year-old Stu.
It
S
is.
T E
There's a
W.
misprint when you put the CD thing in.
Yeah. I was listening to
Yeah.
the car today on the way to soccer practice, and my family had to endure your music, which I like.
I'm sorry.
I enjoy it. And I was thinking 10-year-old Stu, and I said that's got to be referencing Albert Fish, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Grace
So
Bud. So that did you figure out what it was, the reference, or you want me? Am I
the
supposed to
10-year-old Stu,
explain
I
it?
mean, didn't
Yeah.
he cook his victim?
Yeah, Grace Bud was his most well-known victim. I think his last one. But Grace Bud was a 10-year-old that he cooked and made into stew. So I thought
Yeah,
10-year-old stew. It
it
was way
clicked.
being really fucked up without, you know what I mean? Cannibal Corpse. It says it right in the name. Like 10-year-old stew, it doesn't really, you don't really know it. And then you find out how dark it is. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Which is
it
wild
clicked.
because like I got babies and when we switched it up the Bible. It's been 10 years that we've been doing still, and like, yeah, I've changed in a lot of ways. So has my music and my art. But
Well,
yeah, it was fun.
let's go back to your art. I had to bring that in because we
Yeah,
were talking because you mentioned Albert Fish, so I
yeah, I
figured,
got a bunch of fish stuff I can show you back in the
yeah,
behind me. I got some
I figured he's your dude,
artwork and
being a cannibal,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's pretty extreme. He's pretty crazy, right?
He was going after little kids, which makes it even fucking creepier. Yeah,
He
he's
was
a fucking nightmare.
sending letters to the
Torturing
parents.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like Grandpa, man, right? A trustworthy grandpa.
Oh, I can't.
So it's age 21
There you
is when
go.
you're
Yeah.
getting into cannibals, and this is when you
A
started
lot of
drawing
times I
them.
just tell people it's Santa Claus. Their
Yeah.
parents, who's that? You were saying, sorry, I interrupt a lot. My bad.
You're fine. So, this was he one of the first serial killers that you had drawn since being interested in cannibals, or who was your
Yeah,
first?
like the first, he was my favorite. Like right as soon as, because I found out about Ed Gein, right?
Yeah,
Because of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I loved the horror movies. His whole sleeves, Leatherface on top. But then right away, it was like a bunch of. I was into cannibals, so I like Dahmer and all them, and fucking Kemper. But yeah, Albert Fish I always thought was the creepiest. sick individual.
So Ed Gein was your first that you're starting to draw?
But, yeah. Ed Gein, and then Albert Fish, like right away. And then it was like Joachim Kroll, Kemper, a lot of them. But yeah, Ed Gein, what a cool story, man.
Yeah.
The Ed Gein story, yeah.
Wait, yeah, it's been mimicked. Psycho, right? It was loosely based on
Yep.
it. I agree.
Psycho.
First time seeing Texas
Dude, have you
Chainsaw
seen that? Have you
Massacre.
seen that? Have you seen the Ed Gein movie with Steve's Railback? Railsback.
No, I don't think I have.
You have to check it out. He plays a good one. That actor also plays Charles Manson in Helter Skelter,
Oh
and he's
yeah,
in Devil's Rejects. He does a small part.
Helter Skelter. I saw that as a kid. My parents would watch it, and I saw it,
Yeah,
and it was a documentary. It was fucking freaky then.
yeah,
Still's creepy now. All right, so you're starting your drawings of the serial killers. You're into the cannibals. When you start
yeah.
becoming a pen pal, what triggered that interest, and who was your first?
Man, that's you're like that's. I only started that maybe like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
That was very recent. So like I was always obsessed with serial killers, and then like a few years ago, I just like I was not on social media or anything ever. I was in the woods, I didn't even have a phone half the time. So my wife like knows I'm artistic and stuff. When I met her, she's like, you should get on Facebook and get on social media. I'm like, I guess. And then that's like the first time I realized like people were doing like murderabilia, collecting shit and writing to them. And I reached out to Nico. That'd be technically the first killer I worked with. But
Same.
like the first, yeah. So and Todd Kohlhepp.
Oh
Todd
yeah.
Kohlhepp's the first one that I started writing in jail because a friend of his wanted me to do a clock, and like when I was doing artwork of a killer I didn't know about, I'd dive in. So and eventually he's like, yeah, Todd said he'd like to talk to you, man. He wants to know who's drawing this shit. I'm really cool. So I wrote him more than anybody. And at first, they're really strict with Todd. It seems lately. But
Yeah.
when I first started writing him, they were letting us send shit back and forth, and he was signing shit for me.
Oh man, I missed on those days.
And then, dude, and they stopped that, and they switched prisons. I was like, what the fuck? There's him. There's him in a hand tracing. It's kind of blurry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to hold it closer in front of your face, maybe. I don't know. He's asked about you. Like,
Cool. I should write him a letter.
good luck. You might want to hold off for now. He's
There's
pretty
him in
much
his
impossible
handprint.
to reach.
Yeah. I don't know if you
He's
can see. This is just a bunch of shit that he signed for me.
we
And
can't see it, man.
You can't see it.
No.
No,
I
it's
said,
blurry.
sorry. Oh well, it's there.
Put him on the Facebook page. Post him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll reference it so we could see
Oh,
it
I
because I
will.
want to see it. So
No,
yeah.
I lost my phone stand.
Well, you and I. So let me jump in on this story. So yeah, Nico Claux was the first person because it's easy. You can go to Serial Pleasures, buy a book with his bloody thumbprint, and he signs it. I have lots of books that his blood's on it. He did a drawing of Dahmer for me in his art book. I don't know if you have work in there. You gave me a 2023 or 22 calendar that you have some artwork in there.
Yeah,
so,
I have an artwork in that, and then in the fuck is it called? The first one I did a portrait of Nico as a kid, and he put that in the book.
don't you have a tattoo of that
I
too?
can't think of Beauty of Decay, I think. Yeah. I got a
Yeah.
tattoo of that. That was my first piece published.
Yeah.
And then I have a little bit in the book about Ramirez.
You have a lot
There's
of great
like two
drawings in there,
pieces,
man.
a bone I did. Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome that he
Well,
liked
and
art enough to.
he's accessible. So even when I got like the envelope, I'm like, wait a minute, he filled this out. That's like his. So I'm like cutting out. I'm being a stupid idiot and cutting out the envelope and saving that part too. I've talked to him a little bit.
I did that to so
Yeah.
much shit that people would throw away. Like, yeah, I keep it all. Like
Same here.
when Todd first started getting in trouble, they sent me a fucking notice. Like, you can't send this shit, right? And it had Todd's signature on it.
Sweet.
So I drew a fucking portrait. I drew a portrait on the fucking the thing they said that you guys can't send shit back and forth, and I sent a copy back. And they didn't fucking
Oh,
like that. Oh, what I did, yeah. Then they're just like they stopped like letting him send me because he was sending me like these things back that said he couldn't get mail, and I was still getting his autograph. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll
Whatever
just keep
comes
sending
through.
shit. But yeah,
Hopefully he mentioned he doesn't know what happened to you. I think he got a notice that you
dude,
might have moved and
I stopped paying the PO box is what happened, and like I was talking to less and less. But yeah, like Todd and like Joshua, there's are two guys I would have liked to kind of keep in touch with, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the
well, and
future holds.
so that was a question that we were talking about before. What got you? So it seems like you're out of the true criming
Yeah.
memorabilia portion, perhaps, and the pen paling. So what made you quit?
Um. Where do I start? Well, I was obsessed with that for so long, and then yeah, I was reaching out to people, got some artwork and books, and it was all honky dory, and I was at a point in my life where like I told you about my growing up and how like even the school was weird, and so like I'm like I realized that I didn't know shit. I'd been like my early 30s. I became like an atheist, Satanist, if you will. I like all the imagery and all that shit. Was into
Yeah.
Anton LaVey. So it was like that for 8 years. And like, I'm like, there ain't fucking nothing. And then I realized like I really don't know shit. I didn't have a good education. So for me to just like fucking think I know what's what, I'm realizing was silly. And I started like just doing basic high school education shit. Just like programs on fucking YouTube and stuff about like space, the universe, evolution, all
Uh,
kinds of shit. And in
okay.
doing that, I started hearing about all kinds of other shit, like ancient civilizations, aliens, all kinds of shit. So, like, I started getting into all kinds of stuff for the first time in my life. And so it's not that like I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like I had done so much of it for so many years, and I just got into all this other shit in life, like all of a sudden, which is really cool for me. And now I'm into all kinds of shit. But yeah, like writing them and like yeah, getting the phone calls all day. I'm like, I was getting ready to do a podcast and shit, and like all of a
Yeah.
sudden I'm like, I got into so much other shit. I'm like, I don't know if I want to put all my time and energy into this anymore.
It
And so
seems like
that's kind of
a
what
full-time
happened.
job, right? We joke about we should be
Yeah.
getting paid for it. I mean, getting letters and
yeah.
talk with
Yeah.
people.
If I would have been pushing, yeah, yeah, it would. It does become more and more in snowballs, and yeah.
It does.
So
Do you have any do's and don'ts that you would give for someone that came to say, "Hey, I want to be a pen pal. What should I do and what shouldn't I do?"
I never talked about my kids. I know people that have, and you're like, yeah, look, you can imagine they're going to say some vulgar shit. So if you don't want to hear them say vulgar
Yeah.
shit about your kids or your wife or your husband, don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Right.
But besides that, like it was really cool. I think I only pissed one guy off because I told him if I like sold some of his shit, like I'd send him some money and get like for clothes or whatever. But I never sold anything. So I got some
Yeah.
hate mail. He's the one I got
It's tough.
a dick tracing from too. It's like it's like
Gotta love
it's
those dick
like
pics.
it's fucking huge. So then I sent him one back and I used two fucking pages. And I was just like, yeah. Like
So
here's
you're the
mine, pal.
man. You
Yeah,
win,
because
man.
he kept saying being 100% honest and truthful. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, sure.
It's like 2 feet tall.
There's some of those
I am
funny.
gonna trace my pinky and like
I give them
see
hand
what he
tracings
said.
now. I'm like, well, and I sign it like I'm famous. Like, here, you want mine? You could probably sell it in
Yeah,
prison. You could pretend I'm someone
yeah,
popular and famous. Why not?
Trade
yeah,
it for some ramen.
Trade it for some
yeah,
ramen. Yeah.
dude. So and then I was talking like the one guy that was calling it Joshua Rudiger, however you pronounce it. He thinks he's a 2,000-year-old vampire, schizophrenic, like awesome stories,
I
like
still need that
really
address,
cool.
man. You got to
I
give it
do.
to
I
me.
will get it for you.
Yeah.
But like he started giving my address out to other random inmates, like
Yeah.
rapists, and like
Ooh.
I'm getting all this mail, like,
Oh,
and
man.
I'm looking up people, like the one just like raped an elderly chick. You're like, okay, you're real cool. Like, like I never wrote
No.
any of them back. Like I was trying to get like hardcore fucking murderers, right? That was the whole
Is
point.
that funny? Like
Um,
we draw lines at rape and we're on YouTube. We can't see that stuff anymore, right? The grapes
yeah,
and the chomos we don't talk to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have had in Clark. See, but like everybody
That's a
goes, I
fine
don't do
line.
that, and then they go, but accept, and like, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like he chopped up a 14-year-old girl or whatever it was. Like,
Right. Well,
uh,
depends on what you believe. It's hard to
I
believe, but
know, I know, I know.
right?
That's and look, I picked Albert Fish as my favorite because he was the worst. So like
Yeah.
for years, I like defended whatever. You
What
know what I mean? But like people do
yeah.
that, and
You know what
they're like against that, except for like Ramirez. I'm like, nope, same thing. Like, sorry.
what dictates my favorite as far as not a because I'm an artist too, okay? And I
Yeah,
like his face. Albert Fish's face. And a lot of these serial killer guys have very defined jaws, right? Very sharp edges. So they're great to
he's
draw.
very old. He's so much
Right.
fun to draw.
Right.
So much
So I
fun.
don't, when I'm drawing them, I'm listening to like U2 or I'm listening to some happy. So I'm not like getting into like these creepy ass vibes, right? I'm not bringing bad
I
vibes
was.
into it.
I was so desensitized since I was a
Yeah.
fucking like kid. I was just
Yeah.
fucking traces of death and shit all the time. Faces of death and
I used to. I mean, I'm turning
yeah,
47 here. Okay. So I was trying to watch
yeah.
Faces
You
of
got me
Death
about two
again.
years.
2 years.
Yeah,
I can't anymore, man. I used to
yeah.
watch, the,
I
with
couldn't.
the
I
August
couldn't
Underground
now,
shit.
but
Yeah. No more.
yeah.
I
Dude,
can't.
I couldn't even really, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want to draw. Like, I drew so many fucking victims, like little kids and shit. Like, and I don't regret it, but like, once I'm done, like, I wouldn't want to go back to, like,
Yeah. Your Chris Holmes is
you know,
haunting, man.
I had Grace Bud a meat chart, like slices of meat, shit like that. Like,
You
yeah, I
got
wouldn't.
extreme artwork. It's great.
Yes, dude, I
It's
tried to. I am all about being extreme and shock value. So like, there was nothing I like. I think in my head, wow, that's in bad taste. It was getting fucking drawn,
yeah.
you know. So
And
yeah,
as far as the selling point, that's kind of what sells, right? It's what people like.
it can. Yeah, man, I got so much shit. I got so much shit in my ears, especially as I started putting myself out there
Yeah.
on Facebook. Got banned so many times for shit. Yeah,
I bet.
yeah,
I can only imagine. Like I said, you're was it the Aurora shooting guy? He's on the movie screen with the crowd and he's also
yeah,
standing in his
yeah.
gear.
That one
That,
was cool.
that's cool. It's
Yeah,
intense. And you got the Columbine dudes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That one was cool. That one was fun.
So
Took
no more.
forever.
You still do drawings, but I know a lot of it is I wouldn't say Buddhist, but very
Psychedelic. I'm really into
psychedelic.
psychedelic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, aliens and shit, psychedelic stuff.
Have you met an alien before? You
Yeah.
could tell me.
Um, I'm into a dude that channels them that anybody could look up. Daryl Anka channels for 40 years. He's been channeling an alien named Bashar.
All right. Have you have
That's some
yourself?
cool shit.
Have you?
I
No?
I'm in really into altered states, so like I've seen some weird shit, but like no, like talk to an alien, no.
Yeah.
But like I've been meditating for a year now, and I've always been into psychedelics. Like I like my mushrooms and DMT, and so I do breath work a lot too, which puts you in altered states of mind. Sometimes I'll mix them, but like I'll see some weird shit and hear some weird shit.
That's pretty cool.
I went out of my body once with DMT, and I was out in the universe, like, and I saw stars getting sucked down a black hole. That was pretty wild.
Crazy experiences, man. No, I
Yeah,
lightly did that stuff in
I
college
don't,
and
I'm
it was too weird for me.
yeah. That's not like I said. Like it's been 10 years since I did heroin or opiates. Like I don't do coke. Like I don't drink alcohol. I'm very careful and very knowledgeable of the chemicals I put in my
Natural,
body. Which
right?
yeah,
Natural
yeah,
things.
yeah. Natural things, plant medicine, man. Yeah.
That's
Dude, like one time, like I have this tapestry, which is the flower of life. And one time I ate a bunch of mushrooms and like this thing kept running. You could almost see it like running up to it, like poof. You could see its hands spreading back and forth. It was kind of unnerving.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
That's a cool drawing too.
one time I did some DMT and was looking at one of Nico's Richard Ramirez prints, and Richard came to life. There was like demon eyes glowing behind him, and he was like smiling.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty weird, man. Yeah.
Like, that's a kind of a cool thing to think about. So, what if you came across a serial killer? I guess if you met Albert Fish, what would you say to him?
Dad.
Bad. No.
um,
Get a
I
metal
still like.
detector.
I don't know. He's a sick fuck. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know that I'd want to talk to him. I'd always think Charlie would be fucking fun. I'm also a Scorpio. Like I like Charlie's an interesting one. I would like to, yeah, get in his head,
I
bug him.
I want to like Charlie. I know that he put on a show for the people that wanted, there's different versions of Charlie. His pen pals
There
and
is.
friends saw a different version of him for sure. Uh, I saw an
I've known a few
interview.
people that were friends with him.
Yeah. And just said he's never
It's
killed
pretty
anybody.
cool.
I don't believe that because I think he actually, did at least one person in Mexico.
Sure,
So I don't think
sure. I don't think he's a big time liar and a
yeah.
con artist. So, like, yeah, he probably did kill people. He was doing a lot of shitty stuff. Yeah. And again, like, I don't hold up any of these guys. I feel like I really did when I was younger, fucking tattooed, and I'm like, they're fucking awesome. I was twisted. I was very dark. And honestly, on that note, some people don't have fucking outlets. And they got all this fucking dark shit and bottled up, and I had a strange upbringing, and starting to study these fucking guys and draw them was a great outlet for some really dark, bottled up fucking energy that I had. And I don't really need that outlet anymore. But for like years, like people are like, you're fucked up for doing that shit. And I'm like, some
That's a
people
good point.
understood, like, he's a fucked up dude. He's like, he's getting it out on a piece of paper. Like, he ain't hurting no one.
To me,
Mhm.
it's like a trance because people ask like, how can you write to these certain people? Because I don't talk about their crimes with them. We talk about recipes, what we did for the
Yeah.
weekend. We talk
Yep.
about with Bardo, we talk about the news, and he's introducing me to different radio stations. So we don't talk about that stuff. I've never really
Yeah.
asked him about it because it's mostly out there. We'll kind of mention. They might tell me a little bit of the story, but I don't want to hear that kind of stuff anyways because I like to hear more about
Yeah.
how are they rehabilitating? Are they in the same mindset?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
a lot of them do admit to being wrong of what they did. A lot of them don't.
Sure.
But
Sure. They're all different cases. Like Eddie Ruth, I kind of feel bad for. Like he kind of went nuts and fucked up his life.
Eddie Ruth,
Yeah.
Know that one?
yeah,
He
what's that
killed the
about?
American. He killed the American sniper. Have you seen the movie The American Sniper?
No, I don't think I have.
I
Oh,
haven't.
geez. Oh, you guys got to look that one up. They made a
Yeah.
movie about it. Clint Eastwood, I think, directed it.
All right.
So he's one of the more famous ones that I know because they made a movie about the guy he killed.
So
Well,
he talked about.
he was also a vet. So in the American Sniper, he was out of the war, and they were just at a shooting range, and that guy was trying to help other vets, and Eddie he snapped and thought he was like in wartime and shit, and fucking killed two people, but he killed an American hero. So like, you know
Mm,
what I mean? You weren't
yes.
gonna get out. You're not getting any special help, even though you're a vet. Like, but then you go to somebody that like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel bad for Haddon Clark. Look, Todd's fun to talk to, but I don't fucking feel bad that Todd's in jail. Like, he's not a good dude.
No.
Mhm.
No. There's
Most of the guys I didn't feel bad for. Like,
no innocence
yeah,
there. There's a couple, or I can't fault him on like with Todd when he had those two guys approach him in the parking lot. They were gonna rough him up, but no, we don't
yeah,
condone anything that they do. But yeah, with the American Sniper, it sounds like so he's got life in prison. I'm assuming.
absolutely, yeah. And here's one where I was like, you know the kind of drawings I was doing. I was getting ready to go nuts on his crime scene,
Oh
and
shit.
he said in a letter, he's like, please don't draw my crimes.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing, I did cartoons with him. Like we did a Simpsons collaboration. He likes horror movies. So we did Leatherface and yeah. And then like some people, their parents are getting the shit beat out of them. Their parents are making them like have sex with animals and shit, right? And you feel bad for them. You know they do bad shit, but they were fucked from the beginning. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to go down a dark path, but like some people make it really hard for kids to stay
How would they
fucking
know
positive.
what right path to take? Like you said, almost, using you as an
You don't know
example.
what's right and wrong as a
Right.
kid. You don't fucking know. But whatever your parents are fucking doing is what's normal. My
Right.
my cats are tearing my room apart.
No, that's where I do have
Oh,
their
my little
sympathy, but
kitties.
they this horrific thing. So I guess I
Oh,
feel bad for their inner child. What about you, Sharon? Like you hear like the fucked up shit they
Yeah,
went through. Like
guys,
yeah,
come on,
yeah.
out,
I don't feel bad
out,
I
for the
mean,
out,
adult.
I even at some point,
out,
like you've got to feel
out.
sorry
Come
for
on, buddy.
Bonin at
Let's
some
go.
point. But then
Yeah.
you're like, but then he had his own decisions
Oh,
to make and he fucked up.
sorry.
That's
Get
why
my
I
cats
just why I
out.
say their inner child. I feel bad for that child having grown up that way.
Yeah,
As an adult,
yeah.
though, as I tell
For
my
me, I
kids,
don't feel
Yeah.
bad for them as adults, but I understand. Like, I
Mm,
understand why they're fucked up. Way better
yeah.
than like a spoiled millionaire that just decides to kill a bunch of people because he's fucking bored.
yeah,
Because someone
You know
said
what I
no to
mean?
him.
Yeah, but some people are just not given a very good shot at life to become a
No.
success.
Yeah.
You can overcome anything, but it's easier for some than others.
well,
And this is the
Yeah.
shit I thought about as I was writing all these guys.
and there's different people that write for different reasons. I think the three of
Yeah,
us here, maybe we're similar to just to kind of to get to know them. I'm a collector. I'm not going to lie about it, and I'll tell them that I do
yeah, I
collect,
was.
and I'll tell them I won't sell your stuff unless you want me to sell your stuff, and you'll get
Yeah, that's what I was.
most of the
Yeah,
proceeds. Right?
Yep,
There's a
same.
difference.
yeah. Like a lot of my stuff, like I have so much shit from Haddon Clark, right? He
Yeah.
sent me like a hand tracing. So all the other shit I was either trading or buying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I knew a few guys that were selling me a bunch of stuff like Haddon Clark shit really cheap. And as an artist, I was just getting tons of shit to work with.
But it means more for if I get it from them personally. Obviously, if they're
It
still
does, and like,
alive,
we'll
write
see,
to them and
like
get it.
the shit that I bought, like I'll sell, but like the actual collabs and shit, I hang on to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You still have quite a
Some
bit
of
of
the shit they
things.
sent me. Oh yeah, I got a tons,
This
tons. I got
is
tons of stuff.
even though you're out of it, it means something. So it's not like you can just get rid of it.
Yeah,
It's
nah, yeah. It's cool stuff. Yeah, I
yeah,
still want to put out a book with like all my collaborations and maybe talk about the killers that I talked to. I thought that would be a fun book.
yeah. I think you should.
It's like it's over
Yeah.
13 or 14 killers. It's a lot of art.
Be a great book. I have a feeling
Yeah,
you know
I'm sure.
someone. I bet you know who's going to publish it for you. By Nico. All right.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So maybe next year we can expect
Yeah,
the book from you.
I don't know. That's what I said a year ago,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I'm
I'm
still waiting for you to
sandbagging my feet
finish our
now.
drawing, man. You need to finish on
It's on the wall, man.
is it?
It is. It's up there.
Yeah.
Yours and the Crowley for Acid Brain. I got to get both of those done.
That was almost lost too. It took you like a month for that package for me to get to
Yeah.
you.
Every now and then, shit does get lost too. Yeah.
That's what's scary about the mail. Do you get the
Yeah.
scans from the USPS so you can see what's coming the next day?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
sometimes it doesn't come the next day, and you'll get like I had a Haddon Clark coming, and it like took 5 days afterwards because I thought it got lost. Like, what the fuck, man? Don't lose that.
Yeah.
Imagine someone
I
else get at
had
the wrong address.
I had the Purge Killer sent me some artwork he did, and it
Yeah,
never came. Yeah, that sucked.
and you can't say, "Hey, can you replace that? Can you
Dude,
redraw that?"
the hardest thing, I sold a fucking lamp that I had painted the whole outer edge, and I don't. Does that focus on anything?
No.
No.
I don't know why
Yeah,
I
we saw
can't.
it in the chat earlier. You took
Yeah,
photos.
I didn't need to get all this shit out. You can't even see it. But yeah, I lost They lost one of my lamps in the mail, and that took forever to make. And luckily, the
Hmm.
customer let me remake it.
Yeah, there must be a
But
really badass lost and found at the post office somewhere, right?
yeah,
They
Lucky
gotta
I
it's
went
the
to,
sell
I
some
went
Christmas
to,
shit.
time.
yeah.
What were you saying?
Let's see again. I don't know. I forgot.
You
Are
forgot.
you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Okay, so King of the Death Match tattoo on the back of your neck. What's that about?
That was all right. So that was I was in a bunch of backyard wrestling matches, like when I was like 20, 21. I was really into like violence, but like I didn't want to hurt anyone, if that makes sense. So horror movies, gore. I was so much of a sadist. You know what I mean? I was like cutting myself and shit like that, whether for the hell of it or just to freak people out. So I ended up doing a bunch of these wrestling matches, and they were all barbed wire. I had a mask that was half leather, half barbed wire. Like we cut pits in the ground and put halogen light bulbs on them. I got set on fire. We had
Uh-huh.
fans with barbed wire silicone to them. We plugged them in. Like we're just trying to make it as fucking violent as we possibly could, and it was. That's what that was.
So
Tattoo as a tribute to that. I'd call myself
that's
Misery.
your name is
Yeah,
Misery.
yeah,
So was
yeah.
it pretty like true to form of the backyard wrestling where it was pretty painful
Pretty
getting hit with
much.
chairs? There was no
Yeah,
holds
but we're
barred.
like this was like S&M style. Like we're not trying to hit and punch each other. We're like just cut this shit open and let's bleed all over the place. You can get it on the wall.
Right. Ariel
Yeah, and
spray
like and people beating the
effects.
shit out of me because nobody else wanted to get fucked up. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah,
You
yeah.
should have
I
had a
mean,
cod
fun at the
piece with
time,
nails on it,
man. This
like
is
Albert
before I
Fish.
got into hard drugs, you know? Maybe they slowed me down a little bit.
They can. I think they can kind of tame you a bit, and it does change
They
your
can.
mind. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you think it. Yeah, you're not. I don't think anyone that does anything like that is the same ever again. Not bad. I'm
Yeah.
saying just you're not. You're different. Changes your mind.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy. So you did that for a while.
Yeah. And then I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for a while, which is popular in UFC, a lot of grappling and shit. Then it's too much drugs and alcohol. And I'm like, I can't do physical shit. So I did a lot of martial arts when I was younger.
Yeah, because you're in your
Martial
40s now,
arts was
right?
always fun. Yeah, 45.
Yeah, no more.
45 now.
We're still young,
Yeah,
but
I
not
slowed
that young.
down. Not that young.
Not that young.
No, there's a lot of
You're
stuff in my
younger than
past.
me.
Oh, sure. Darren, knock it off. You're young.
Half a century.
Oh, no, no. You're good. All right. I think you mentioned that you have had contact with the FBI before.
I did. That's a good story. I
Yeah,
love stories, man. Stories. It's all about
all about
stories.
stories.
I was posting all this shit. Like this is probably like when I was probably around when was first talking to Nico and like got him to do the Grace Bud painting, Grace on a cleaver. Um, and I was working with my mother-in-law at a butcher shop. That's right. So like me being a fucking weirdo, I'm like taking pictures of pails full of guts and shit, like making artwork and doing pentagrams and I'm posting all this shit and not thinking nothing of it. You know what I mean? I get Facebook banned here and there, whatever. So it's posting all these serial killers, all these guts and all this shit. And finally, I'm taking my dog out for a walk, and there's a fucking blazer. And yeah, FBI guys in full fucking gear, like fucking step out, and they're like, I'm like, didn't give them a thought. Like they're not here for me. Like I was on probation, but stopped doing drugs and shit. So once I stopped doing heroin, I stopped going to jail. I'm like, oh, they're not here for me. Didn't have any warrants. They're like, Jason Stauffer. I'm like, what the fuck? And
No.
it was so, I got no. Um, but I'm like, yeah, and it was a fucking shocker. They were so nonchalant. Like they really were just like kind of joked around with me. Like, but they had a file with them of everything I was posting, and they wanted to make sure, like they're like, we have to make sure. They didn't even come in the house, which is fucking weird. But
That is weird.
not that I was gonna let them, but but yeah. So like they talked to me for a while, and I explained everything that I was doing. I'm an artist. I'm into killers. They made a joke about something. It's a fucking movie or something. This is a couple years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, they probably talked to me for like half an hour. They're in the parking lot, and they're like, "Okay, well, we'll let you go. You won't be hearing from us again." But it makes me always. I'm always like, every time I post something, I'm like, anybody can fucking see that shit.
They can't. Everybody, and if
You're
you are
dumb if you
writing,
don't realize that, you know?
no, no, we're all out there, especially if you're running inmates and multiple inmates. Like I'm paranoid when I
Yeah.
see the cops quite a bit. I had a story where I was
I had,
eating Subway with my wife, and they like pulled up right next to me, like they were blazing through the parking lot. They get out, and I swear he was looking right at me, but they went and got a sandwich. It's like a fuck, man. And my wife goes, "You need to. What the fuck are you doing?" Nothing, man.
my friend, my friend wrote to a lot of killers, and he wrote one to Dennis Rader in like a Dennis Rader like poem style, like, you know what I mean? Kind of made it like sensualish or whatever. But Dennis Rader fucking turned him into the feds. So like, he's like, you should check this guy out. He's
No
like,
way.
he's trouble. Yeah. So they showed
Jeez.
That's
up at him.
insane.
He's like, dude, I was just fucking writing BTK a stupid letter. But yeah, the FBI came up to him and was like,
You
yeah.
know you got
So we
problems
told him, he's
when
like,
he thinks you got problems.
Yeah.
dude, Dennis is fucking. Oh, that guy's fucking. I never tried to. He's seen some of my artwork because I was involved with somebody that was working with him. But like that prick,
Yeah,
like he still thinks he's just a good fucking dude that just did a little bit of bad shit. You know
just
what
a
I
little
mean?
bit.
Like he still
Yeah.
writes Bible verses and sends Bible verses. Then like he said, like he sat there while like the what 14-year-old girl was dying and masturbated. And he said, well, I wouldn't rape any kids because I wouldn't want to cheat on my wife. But to him, like, that makes him a good dude. You're like, oh, you're good. That's very good. You didn't rape anyone, Dennis. You only killed 10 plus people.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah, he's a fucking, yeah, he's a nut.
Yeah, I had
Narcissist. We know a couple of them that are locked up.
I wrote him once, haven't heard back. Yeah, no, and I know someone that sent him on GTL some a message. They sent him $10 by accident. And he replied back.
So many people I know said that he's an asshole. But
I believe it. I'll take their word on
yeah,
that one. Yeah, he's
yeah,
not fun. That's
no.
crazy. So yeah, no,
Joshua Rudiger was the most fun to talk to. Because like he's schizophrenic and he has 2,000 years of stories to tell you of when he was in Nam, of when he got cut in half by a fucking train. And he'll just go on and on.
he's
He
the
fucking
vampire.
believes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call him the vampire slasher. He was cutting throats and fucking drinking their blood. And even the last one was one of the inmates. He cut
Oh,
his throat and drank his blood. And he says to this day he wanted me to do it. He was a willing sacrifice.
I've heard this story before,
He's
not his.
nuts.
People they say that they wanted me to. I
Yeah.
was told to
Well,
do it.
that brings me up. Hey, Armin Muse. There's a fucked up case.
yeah.
I got so much artwork I did of Armin. I have one of his shirts. I did some artwork with some sketches that Armin did. As fucked up as that case is, like, I don't think he should be in jail.
I don't know if I'm familiar
You
with
know what
that
I mean?
case.
That's the one where the victim wanted him to be eaten. So they cut
Yeah.
his dick off and
Oh,
they,
of course. No, you
yeah,
sent me 2 pages from his book. No, I know his
yeah,
case.
yeah, yeah,
Have you seen the movie
yeah,
Cannibal that's based on him? That movie was messed up.
yeah. I don't think I actually watched it, which is pretty wild, but
It's
yeah.
pretty much gay
My
porn
thing
with
is, they were
cannibals.
both, you know what I mean? They were both. It was he videotaped it. The guy was willing.
Mm,
Yeah.
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 Is that similar to you think with like Dr. Kevorkian, like with assisted suicide? If
Oh,
you know,
dude, I think Kevorkian's a fucking hero.
yeah.
Yeah, I drew pictures of him, and that guy went to jail. Like, and he took like, yeah. If somebody wants, people who have a shitty life or terminal cancer, like if it's their choice to like go early, they should be able to do that. Definitely. And he
Agreed.
fought for that a long time. He fought for that hard to an old man. Yeah, I fucking love Kevorkian.
It makes you wonder if his methods were humane enough because he was making himself. So you think that they
Well,
suffered at
he
all?
had to.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to make a concoction too. My like my best friend in the world went out last year and he had cancer, but he went with state assisted suicide.
Oh,
Owner of this of the convent. He was sold artwork for Richard Ramirez. I met him through Nico. I miss that guy. I fucking love that guy. But yeah, he's the one that had the BTK story too. He's the one that wrote BTK. So
Did he?
he'd tell me
Oh
some cool
man.
stories.
Yeah. Sorry for
Yeah,
that loss.
yeah, dude. He's probably the hardest. I've lost a lot of people in life. He was just a good dude. Kind of took me under his wing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's hard to make friends in general, especially in the true crime world, because I don't
It
know.
can. Plus, you make not just in true crime, but anything. Try to make friends, and then you're like, what an asshole. There's so many. You meet some cool people, but I mean, that's any way you go with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was always kind of antisocial, and like now I have my family, which I love to death, so I don't feel the need to really go out and fucking meet people a whole lot.
I'm the same. My wife, she would
Yeah, and
try.
my drummer,
Yeah.
10 years, my drummer comes over every Saturday and we bullshit and jam. 10 years now.
Yeah. Once a week is
I get
good
to see
because
him.
we don't have to be.
Yeah,
Once it becomes daily, it becomes overwhelming. Let's just hang out once a year,
yeah,
maybe once.
yeah. No, once a
Yeah.
week's great.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
in other bands and shit, but he doesn't have a family, so yeah. Some of these guys that, yeah, I'll do a show every now and then, but
10
it gets
years
old
with,
fast.
yeah. Have you done any local touring?
No, just a couple bars here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
two or
it's
three
hard with
shows a year.
family, right? With time and family and work and all that, it's hard to do.
Dude, honestly, my favorite part of it is like what we do in the basement, bullshitting, and we're gonna start recording some more shit. But like, shows are okay, but I'd have just as much fun staying at home watching fucking movies. Is what I realized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well,
I'm
you're
spending all this fucking time to haul shit, and we usually wouldn't really get paid anything, and
right. It's not
so
worth
Yeah.
I'll
all
do it
the
every
effort.
night. After time goes by, you get the itch to play live, but yeah, some of these guys they want to do it every weekend, and that's not even if I didn't have a family, it wouldn't be what I wanted to do. I
Just
just
have
kind of want to
one-offs. Just
chill.
fly into Vegas, do a couple shows and fly back, use their gear. Because I can imagine taking the shit out of your
Yeah,
basement and like, I'm gonna do that.
yeah,
You have to retune everything, you have to reset it up. Drums are a pain in the ass.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
you need a garage or need a he shed out there in the back so you can just have shows at your own spot. Just have people come in.
yeah. I should.
Yeah. Well, you did mention alien stuff. How about the paranormal? Any interests, experiences in the paranormal, especially with true
Uh,
crime stuff?
Not a lot, cause like I just started getting into that shit in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Basically everything, all kinds of shit.
No
But
haunted houses
yeah,
you ever been to? Never seen any weird?
no, but like, see, for so long I was just an atheist and didn't believe in shit. So shit could happen. Wouldn't necessarily notice because like sometimes if you're not looking, paying attention, you know what I mean? You don't fucking see shit happening. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting thought. So
Because I've been at some pretty fucking weird places,
yeah.
murder spots and shit like that,
Yeah, like where?
asylums.
Where have you been?
Well, I used to sleep in that fucking dude from Coatesville, the doghouse of horrors basement after he killed a kid there.
Good Lord.
and
So
and
no,
mutilated dogs. He was mutilating dogs and killing them. And like I
yeah,
didn't know all the shit when I moved into the basement, but I don't know that would have stopped me either.
not that age, probably. I mean, I would at that maybe now, but not then. I would do it, or I would spend the night there just to
Yeah,
see if you could feel anything.
yeah,
I'm into
yeah. I
that kind
lived
of stuff.
there. I slept there for yeah. People were afraid to go in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to cop dope near where Gary Heidnick's place was in Philly. I knew some people that worked with Gary Heidnick, said he was an asshole. That's not shocking if you know him at all. He's the guy that had people tied up in the basement for years. And he fed one of them. He killed two of them, fed one of them, the other victims and shit. Yeah, he was a fucking
And he was an asshole. I don't believe it.
dude. Yeah, and he would go after special needs children because they were easier to get to. And
Oh,
Good God.
yeah, yeah.
Not good.
Yep. He was a millionaire because he wrote off that his church his house was a church and he got all these fucking tax cuts and shit. He was just doing horrible things. Which look, I grew up in this Christianity. I've been to all kinds of different sects, and I think it's all, even in the Bible they don't talk about Christianity. I think the whole thing's a cult. If you ask me, like it or not, like I think all the churches are pretty much cultish. They teach them some weird shit, and
That's a
yeah,
tough
that's
subject.
been that's my personal. And
No, no,
like
no.
I
It's
said, I wouldn't say that if I didn't grow up in it and
Yeah.
believe that. I preached on pulpits already, so like I've
yeah.
been there, and
I've
I think it's all a fucking cult.
I've
So
yet to find any organization personally that where I felt really represented what they're talking about. You
yeah,
know,
like they're the Pharisees. Like
yeah,
they're not about love.
no,
Look at history. History speaks for itself. You know what I mean? The Catholic Church and all this
right.
shit, and the Crusades, and like they're not about love.
Yeah, I think it's way simpler than that people make it out to
And now
be.
America's got fucking white Jesus on a Harley. Don't get me started. Uh, but yeah,
No, it's a good
I'm
subject.
actually I'm to the point where I'm into everything now. So I'm like looking at why people believe what they believe is very interesting to me. So like I looked into all kinds of different religions, spiritual practices, like the indigenous Americans, like all that shit fascinates me. Like
And
I'm actually to the point where I can
yeah,
get shit out of the Bible. Jesus is cool. Christians aren't though. You know what I mean?
well,
I can
yeah,
get stuff out of,
I think
but yeah,
we have multiple cultures, different
yeah.
languages. So what makes their beliefs wrong and
So
yours right? I don't think any belief, as long as it's positive, is correct because
yeah,
that's how you connect to the spirituality. I think it's all an energy, to be honest, and we all
yes,
connect the same
energy,
energy.
frequencies.
Yes, like
Yes,
hermeticism,
this is
as
the stuff
above, so
I'm getting
below.
in. Yeah,
I
yeah,
wish we
yeah,
could.
yeah.
I wish we could take um, Baphomet because I love that image, but I know
Baphomet's
it's with the
cool.
Satanic Church. Nothing
Yeah,
against them, but to me,
I got
it's
it's my back
organized.
piece is Baphomet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, Baphomet's cool.
been used for a lot of different things, but it's duality, right?
But like so like I'm studying the ancient like civilizations, like all like the stories from these different religions, like stuff that Jesus said you can find in the Emerald Tablets of Egypt. That's way before Christian Bible was being put together. So like, or the flood was the global fucking flood was. I can't think of what. I got a block. But like they had these stories that were already written about in cultures before, and you see them. Then you see them appear again in the Bible, like it's the first time. But like that was used. You know what I mean? There was other flood stories way before the Noah's Ark story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Heavy, man.
yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of the Old Testament is just people pretending, people or beings or whatever pretending to be God. Because why would God, why would an all loving God tell his people to just go
Yeah.
slaughter women and children? But like that's, you know, my parents would teach me that that was correct. You know what I mean? That was okay because God's God and nobody can question God. And
They had to have some type of structure, even with the mystery cults in Egypt, creating gods because the most people were in Egypt were illiterate, so they could only know symbols and images, right? So they had to
yeah,
create
yeah,
something to believe in, hope, fear.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and then like you know they people put it together the parts they wanted. Like you have books that empower women that were just dropped out of the Bible. Like oh we don't need that. We don't want them. Like we don't need women thinking they have power. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
yeah,
So it was very handpicked what they picked to put in the Bible, and then to say like God Himself wrote it word for word, which is kind of what I was taught.
Yeah.
Doesn't add up.
what you got, sir?
Oh yeah, was that a hand or were you
That was.
fly
Yes, I can.
swatting? I
Yeah,
forgot
fly
about the
swatter.
hand raising thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of when you're saying they just pull bits and pieces from the Bible and all the other biblical books. That's what Charles Manson did. He had Bruce Davis travel all over the world going to churches and religious groups, just picking bits out and yeah, and creating his cult. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
It's a
it's
cool tidbit
Especially
to
with
insane.
know.
kid, especially with kids, like they don't know any better a lot of times. You know what I mean?
What your parents
And
show you, teach you is
just
it.
Yeah.
yeah. And they, like I worked at a homeless shelter, a Christian shelter for like 2 years, and to see so many people come from different backgrounds, and like all these people had such different beliefs of the Bible, but like
Yep.
they'll fight all day to like. There's just so many
Yeah.
different ways to come at it, and they like even the people that believe in the Bible can't get along with each other or agree
No,
on that shit. You know?
no, no. And when you think about it, it's all incest. I mean, Adam and Eve, they had
Yeah,
children who then had children with their brothers and sisters because what they went to another place and met someone else. They all came from, yeah,
yeah,
it's,
Yep.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
yep. We all
Crazy.
came from incest, apparently, or monkeys, whichever way you want to go.
Whichever, yeah,
Yeah.
whichever you want to believe it. Well, science
Yeah,
and
and then like Jesus. I like the character Jesus is cool. Like, and I don't think his whole point wasn't even to be worshipped. He was just trying to show people a peaceful or more peaceful way to live if they wanted.
Yeah, yeah,
That was his thing. And now we're like put him on a fucking Harley, make him white, and I don't know. I think they added the crucifixion part too, but I'm no expert.
no, I'm definitely
Yeah,
no expert on religion. I
yeah.
stay out of
It was,
that. Like,
it's nice having the background that I have because I already know a lot
yeah,
about it. So I'm like, well, I know that ain't fucking true. But now to like learn some other stuff about other cultures and to go back and look at the Bible and try to be like, what were they trying to tell us like 2,000 years ago? Like some of that shit's really cool.
hmm, yeah,
A lot of cool Buddhists too. Yeah, I'm all about
yeah,
inner peace. I'm all about inner peace, loving yourself. If you can love yourself, you can love everybody.
yeah,
it's the lighter side of it. Some say
Yeah,
to make yourself like you worship yourself like as your own God. But I think if we kind of bring it down a couple notches, so we can include everybody, right? Love yourself and then love everybody as well.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, I'm finding like the more I help other people instead of myself, the better I feel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's easy to do with I have a family and babies, and yeah, yeah. All I
Yeah.
did
So
in
you've
my whole
gone.
life was I'm learning. I'm learning in my
So
40s.
what next step? You're in their 40s, still young. So what's
Yeah,
you gone from extreme religion, homelessness, some prison, drug addiction,
yeah.
true criming, metaphysical. What do you see in the future?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. Honestly, it's been a year of like a lot of daily meditating, just trying to work out some of like my anger and frustration with the past and shit like that. Um, Inner peace, just trying to calm
Inner
down. Like
peace.
I'm really just kind of I'm not in a hurry to find the next thing. I have
Okay.
babies. Like I'm trying to enjoy the here and
yeah.
now and be really present because I'm always that was my obsessive mind is always like worried about the next thing so much that I couldn't enjoy it like a piece of art. I didn't look at it when I got it done. I was like, on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
On to the
I'm trying to
next.
just slow down. And like I said, I got babies, and more than anything, I just like to
They
hang
grow up
out.
too fast.
They grow up too fast already. Yeah,
Yep.
I just want to enjoy my kids. I'm sure I'll get gung ho about something. Like I have a lot of interests, but yeah,
And we still have
babies.
more art collaboration. I was going through the stuff you sent me. And there's a gotta forget his name, but he left me kind of a blank one, a couple of them that I need to.
I forget what all I sent.
I'll have to show you
Yeah,
later. It would be too blurry
yeah,
now, but yeah, he gave me a nice care
yeah.
package in there. Man, that's great, man. Like you said, it's the kids. That's the next journey. Really, it's their life that becomes our life. So it's kind of
Kids,
coaching them
yeah,
and
yeah,
seeing where they go. That becomes your next inspiration.
yeah, yeah. And like I want to teach my kids to think, not what to think. As hard as that can be
Yep.
sometimes, you know what I mean?
It is.
Because
Yeah.
my parents just tried to make me them, and still
Hmm.
don't fucking understand why I'm not exactly like them. and it's just
Yeah.
not cool. Like we're not all supposed to be the fucking same. So yeah, try to treat my kids with as well as I can, and
Yeah.
That's great. I think
I,
that
with life was so hard. It was hard as a kid, and I made it so fucking hard after that. But like, it's perspective because now, like just a normal day to me is fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, not worried about going to jail. I'm not going to be dope sick. I have a family that I love to death, and so many years of being so depressed, it makes like this life I have now just this big breath of fresh air. Like it takes
yeah,
it. Like I don't have bad days. I don't have bad days. I have
I'm
rough
glad to
stuff
hear
comes
it.
along, but rough
It's
stuff
great
comes along. But
to
yeah,
share with you. I mean, I think people, I invite them if you're cool with it to be friends with you because it's been a great
yeah.
journey to see your
That's
life.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing that I could tell people is like you can change your life if you want to. Like for so many years, you know what I mean, being a hardcore heroin addict, some people never get out of it, some people die, some people
Mm-hmm.
are 80 years old still shooting up.
Yeah.
But like I changed my life, I stuck to it. It's been 10 years and life's never been better. And like I quit alcohol and it's like I'll never tell people what to do, but again, like I'll share people what worked for me and what made me a happier person, and if I can do it, anyone else could do it. And that's like
Mm-hmm.
one of my
Exactly.
big things to like let people know, and why I even talk to people sometimes, so I can
Yeah.
get antisocial or stage fright and all that shit.
Same here. Mine's actually pretty bad. I'm for pretty antisocial.
Yeah, yeah, I'm 100%.
Well,
I
do you
talk to
have?
my I talk to my drummer. That's it. My
That's your,
family and my drummer.
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you
Yeah,
need. You got wife and kids. You just need
I'm
one
happy.
outlet.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So
Do you have anything that you want to promote? Do you have any art pages, band pages you like people to know about,
uh,
go to?
I should have a lot more. You can check me out on Instagram.
Yeah, we're gonna post this episode. So this is gonna be on YouTube. This is gonna be
Yeah,
on Spotify. Go to the
cool,
Jeff Show, or still with the DA, the Jeff Show. Talking with Demons on Facebook group. We're gonna post it there. And
cool.
yeah, I mean, thank you for meeting with us. I think that I'm all out. You answered most of my questions. I had what 44, and you pretty much answered them all on your own.
Yeah.
Cool,
So I didn't have to ask
cool.
anything. Uh, yeah, this has been great. Again, it's been great being friends with you. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed our
yeah.
conversation just preparing for this. I got to know
Very
about
cool. It
you.
was fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It
Sharon,
was
anything
good to
like to
talk
add?
to you guys.
Yeah.
No, I think you covered everything and he's already answered everything that was pretty much on my list.
Right.
But
Cool.
next time we want the tutu.
Next time
Okay. I still have some like jail stories and stuff, so I mean we can do it again. Yeah,
we'll
I can
do a
wear my
follow up.
tutus, show you my third
Yep, yep,
nipple.
we need that
We'll come up
tutu.
with some new stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Goodbye.
How did you do
Bye.
that? Bye.